All right. So it's about 10 o'clock. I like to start around 10 every time I do this, at least for this cycle here. And of course, it's 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So today is Thursday, February the 1st, and we're going to look at something inside of Adobe Express today. So I definitely get Express fatigue because there's such a focus on Express. But this is a feature that, not a lot of people know about. And that is to be able to create a custom theme inside of Express for your web pages. So choosing colors, fonts for all the different elements, headings, paragraphs, and all the rest. And I've been wanting to create a nice, solid custom theme for myself for a while because I do use Express web page quite a bit for getting information out around like the community of practice that I manage at the university, and just different events and things like that. We did a bunch of AELs, Adobe Education Leaders did a Exquisite Corpse project over the winter that was just released today. So, all of that information. Express web page is a really good way to get it out, right? So here I am inside of Express. And I mean, web page itself is difficult to get to, right? Because they put a lot of stuff up front here. What do you want to make? You can see here, like all of these, they're all going to create, just a composition inside of the general Express editor. There's nothing here that lets you do web page straight off. And like if we look on the side here, it's way at the end, web page. But you know what? I'm not even sure because sometimes when you choose web page, it creates basically a 1024 by 768 canvas for you inside of the graphic editor instead of actually doing the web page. Let's see what this one actually does. I click create from scratch here. Actually, this did create a web page, so that's good. At least we have that, right? So, yeah, inside of the web page, the way that you get to this, and it's a little different from how Express used to be, right? So, if we go back to the Express dashboard, like you can also get it through this little thing here. If you scroll way down or type in web, right? There you go. You got web page right there, and that'll do it for you. I don't know why there's a measurement there. It's so weird. It's like they're scared of web page. Like they don't want it to they don't want to talk about it. But yeah, so there used to be in the old Express like brands here, and I think you can still manage brands under your stuff. Yeah. So under your stuff, files, brands, and libraries. But and you were able to create a brand with colors and fonts and then just have that be automatically applied as a theme. But you weren't able to directly edit the theme, which was annoying. Now inside of web page you can, right? So I'm just gonna call this it's not how you spell theme. Theme test Brack. And yeah, let's do short cover. And then I can add in like a heading level 1 and tag that with H1. And then we'll have some paragraph text. And then we'll do a little H2 down here. Heading level 2. And yeah, I mean, that'll give us a good start to see how things are going with this particular theme. And right now, I mean, I don't even know what theme this is. So if we go up here, we click on this little magic wand, which is kind of weird. A magic wand is a strange thing to use as an icon, in my opinion, especially for something like themes. But yeah, click on the little magic wand. And then there we go. So you can see I've got a couple of themes already here. And then you've got Adobe Express themes. Yeah, so right now it's using Crisp as the web page theme. But yeah, you can switch between any of these. So if I choose Wesley here, it'll redo everything and, you know, apply specific fonts. Now these particular things, let's switch to Luca. These themes have been around forever. These were in old Express, they're in new Express. Let's go back to Crisp. And what used to happen is up here, your branding themes would come out if you had created them, and you could mess with it, right? Oh, hello. How are you, Myron? Yeah, so one of the nice things is with New Express, you know, one thing, because I was afraid they weren't going to bring, right, the ability to create web pages inside of Express, right, with New Express. But they did, and it's nice to see that they have begun to add new features like this theme creator. So super obvious how you access the theme creator, right? So if you go into themes, you just click create new theme under my themes instead of just scrolling down to the standard Adobe Express themes. And you actually have a number of options here. So if I say create new theme, it brings you into this theme editor. So it pulls you out of the actual web page that you're in, and it brings you into this kind of generic page here. Now notice what we have right here. It tells us that header and footer customization is coming soon. So you can't quite edit the header or way down here the footer content yet, but apparently they are working on it. But it does break things apart into things like page, text, links and buttons, and then all the different ways of styling photos, like glide shows and things like that that you can get to. So if we go into page here, I can choose background, and you've only got one option here. You can choose the background color, right? And it gives you some suggestions how you might want to make it look. But you can choose more colors, right? So if we want a nice dark gray, there we go. Or we've got a color picker here, or we can choose a custom color. And I mean, I always go for like the darker backgrounds on some of these, but like this is really like the first choice you should make, right? When you're coming up with your own custom theme, because it's going to influence all the other color choices you make for your text components and things like that, right? So I've got to make a choice. It's like, Joseph, do you want dark or do you want something lighter? And I think I'm gonna go with dark because I like dark, you know, obviously, right there, dark. So let's go back out, and now we can change our title. So here we've got a bunch of different title styles that we can start with, right? And depending upon which one of these we choose, it's going to change the color options we have. So obviously if components don't exist in the style we choose, then we're not going to be able to, you know, customize the colors for those components. That doesn't make much sense, does it? So let's go ahead and, gosh, I don't know which one to choose. That one's kind of nice. It's contained, right? Yes. Maybe I'll go with this one right here. All right, so we got title text. Right now it's white. Subtitle text is white. Background is black. And it looks like the opacity that it's using here is probably It looks like it's using sort of like something you can't control. At least not yet, right? So maybe I'll make this kind of close to what we're looking at with the background of the page. And title text. Maybe I'll go with sort of a light yellow-orange, rusty red sort of thing. Something similar for the subtitle text. But maybe a bit more white. Yeah. So one thing I wish you could do here is save your text swatches. So like if I was in here, you know, to say like, hey, I want to save this. Oh wait, what is that? Does that let me do that? There's no tooltip. Well, here. I'm going to copy that in case I delete it. Let's go ahead and click that little guy. It might save it to a library or something. Copied to clipboard, okay. Well, that's something, I suppose. But what's nice is we can also choose our title and subtitle typefaces. So Montserrat is the default for crisp. I've got my fonts here, your fonts. And I believe this is everything that I have synced up from Adobe Fonts. And what about Jensen? Do I have Jensen in here? It might be under Adobe Jensen. Let's go back up to A. I like Jensen. Huh. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Adobe Jensen Pro. There we are. Nice, bold Jensen. And then for subtitle, what should we choose? So I think I'm gonna go with titles and headings, right? Being a serif-based font like Jensen. And for the subtitles, for the paragraph text and all the rest, we'll go with something that's a bit more without serifs. Sans serif. Yeah, so Myron, if you have not checked out the new editor for graphic composition, video, animation, things like that, it's vastly improved from the old version of Express. You know, aside from this theme editor here in the web page editor, you know, nothing much is very different about the web page editor, but when it comes to, you know, the main focus of Express, which is to create graphic compositions, you know, edit video, generate video, add animation to things, they did do a very good job making it a lot more of a professional tool, but also a more capable tool. And, you know, I always say this, I say it as a massive critic of the old version of Express. So, gosh, what do I want to use for this? I was thinking stick with another Adobe font, but it looks like all of my Adobe fonts are serif, which I don't want. I wonder if I have Adobe Clean on here. Because Adobe Clean is a sans serif font. I think it would be listed under Adobe, though. Well, I'm just going to have to find something. And notice, too, you can go out more fonts. That'll, I believe, take you to Adobe Fonts, where you can just sync up additional typefaces. Astoria. Let's just jump way down. Poppins. Yeah. Maybe not. Prenton. How does that look? Oh, that's pretty... Yeah. We could use Prenton. Prenton regular. It's also got a light version. Let's have a look at that. Maybe keep it at regular. And then, good. So notice at the bottom is a big reset changes button. I don't want to click that because I just spent a ton of time building this this theme here, right? All right. So now we've got our sort of like title stuff taken care of. And that looks pretty good. We've got a background, we've got our title. We've got a bunch of other stuff that we can go through here. So let's jump over to heading 1. And obviously, because I made the page so dark, we're gonna have to lighten up this typeface here. That'll be the first step. So let us see here. So yeah, we got styles here, but I can't see any of that unless I change the text. So let's just make this white to start with. And actually, let's change it because I know I want to use... Oh, bummer. They don't bring up... That's okay. So I'll choose again Jensen Pro for my typeface here. Let's check out the heading styles. So we have a shape with this style here. Let's just make that white as well so we can see it nicely. Heading. Ooh. Ah, that one's pretty nice. I like these little guys, these little dividers, you know? I wonder if I can sample. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah. Cool. I can just sample directly from there. It's gonna make things very, very easy for me. For the divider though, let's give it a bit more color. Yeah, so there's a good amount of people on this. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all well today. You know, I'm having second thoughts about the background here. I'm like, maybe I should put it a little more toward black. Maybe. Actually, maybe take a little bit of the color out of that. And put it a little darker, a little more towards gray. Let's copy that. I'm gonna jump back out into our title. And let's make this blacker and less saturated. And I'm gonna change my title text to be a little less colorful. All right, back into heading 1. It's looking good. For the shape, let's take this more toward gray. Again, just kind of desaturate a little bit. See, that looks pretty good. This is getting somewhere now, which is really nice. Okay, so heading 1, I'm gonna say is done for now. Check out heading 2. Same kind of deal, right? Heading 2, let's pop it over to white. And actually, we don't even need to do that because we can sample from heading 1 if we want them to match. And let's go back down to Jensen. And for heading 2, I'll just do a semi-bold, right? All right, that one's done. There's not a lot to heading 2. Paragraph text, of course, very important. And for this, I'm going to sample from my subtitle up here. Goody. And we are going to change this from Montserrat to, what is the other font I used? I might have to jump back and reference it. I know I scrolled down quite a bit to find it. There's Montserrat. There we go. Prenton RP Pro. And probably use light for this, right? Yeah. Sure. There we are. And is that good? Jeez, I don't know. It might be just a little too close, you know, to what we have going on in the headings. And I mean, this is design, right? So as we go through and we're tweaking all these things, of course, you know, we're gonna go back and forth a bit. Let's choose you, Betty. For the quote, let's make it pop out a little more, right? We'll add some color to that. And we have different styles for our quotes. Let's change the typeface as well. Maybe use Jensen for the quote instead of, I don't know, light italic. Or just italic. Yeah, no. Let's use the Preston or whatever it was for our quotes. The same thing as the body text. Prenton. Prenton light. Shape. Grab the same thing. And... oh, that's pretty nice. That's hideous. That one's... Let's do this one. I think this one goes more in line with what I've got designed for everything, right? Because it's, yeah, we'll go with that. Quote. Buttons and links. Yeah, so I want to revisit my headings. Right now, you can see that heading right there. It just blends in too much. We need more of a difference. And I'm thinking a difference in saturation, right? So let's make this a bit more colorful, a bit more saturated. Maybe a lot more saturated. Looks pretty good. A little more red. And we'll do the same sort of thing to H1. Just kind of bring that up. Yeah, very good. I think that's better. Gosh, okay. All right, back down to, oh, I mean, let's look up here. Let's go back. And yeah, right, this is design. Just back and forth, back and forth. Nothing's ever settled, right? Until you force yourself to say, all right, that's enough of that. Let us move on, right? You know, it's funny. I like the subdued nature of the desaturated text, but oh gosh, it's just so much back and forth with this. It's kind of painful. It hurts my mind. It's too red. Story title. Ooh. Let's go with that. We can revisit this later. I mean, and a nice thing about this too, right? So notice we can save it right here. So if I go through and I save this right now, it's going to save the theme and pop us back into that page. And look, it's actually gone through and applied the theme for us, which is very nice. But the nice thing is we can always, of course, go back into the theme and edit it, which I'm going to need to do anyway because oh my gosh, I need to find some lorem ipsum text. I'm going to search in a different browser because that just looks awful. I can't deal with it. Just go to lipsum.com. Hello. Paste added. Let's add some text down here too. Paste it in. And yeah, let's put a quote there. Right? So hey, yeah, this is coming out pretty nice. Sure, I've got my eye on Behance here. Anyone who's joining. Oh, and all. So yeah, so this is where you get back to it, right? So I need to continue editing this. So I'm gonna go back, click on that magic wand, and there is my new theme, right? And of course, we have controls here. We can duplicate the theme, rename it, delete it, or we can click on the little edit pencil icon right here, get right back into our editor, and continue editing, right? So we can always tweak the theme. And oh, I can't change the name from here? That's weird, Adobe. I can't change the name from right here. That's super weird because like everything else in Express, you can just change it right there. All right, let's go ahead and choose button. And what style button do I want? Well, let's go ahead and change these items, right? Text can be darker, that's fine. Button. Yeah. Let's do this guy here. Rounded background. I think that looks quite nice. So what we're gonna do for our text, I think I will grab this color and then just darken it severely. For the background, let's grab yeah, that's cool. And for the button text, we don't want Montserrat. We're gonna go down to Prenton, was it? Prenton RP Pro. And let's do a medium. I want the button to really stand out. Oh gosh. Looks a little strange. Maybe we don't want to use that. I think that looks odd. So let's use Jensen. Ugh. That's weird. I don't know. I do wish we could change the size of these things. All right. Well, there's button anyway. We'll go to link. Right now it's blue. No. That is not what we want. Let's sample from our quote text here. And hover, we don't want hover to be blue either. Let's make it quite different. So these last ones are pretty easy, huh? Oh, then we have photos. Now, this is actually a part. So I've looked at most of these things inside of themes. I have not looked at how to deal with photos yet, because I mean, I use photos in Express, but not like to a massive extent, you know? Oh, I see. We're dealing with the captions here. Caption background. And caption. A little clever. welcome. Background chanting. Yeah, I always play music during my streams. So you can see what's being played down in the lower left of the screen. And you know, I should mention too, I didn't even mention this. I meant to mention it when we started the stream about 30 minutes ago, but I have the final cover art for my new book that's coming out in April, and it's way up top there in the corner, Adobe Creative 3D Workflows. And this is what it looks like. Very, very pretty book cover. So, a designer's guide to Adobe Substance 3D and Adobe Creative Cloud integration. This is coming out through Adobe Press, again, in April. I think it's set for the 22nd of April right now. But, yeah, I'm very excited about that. I've been working on that for the past, I don't know, 9 or 10 months. So, it's great to be just about done with it, for sure. I'm done all the writing. It's just reviewing things and layouts and cover and everything. But yeah, very, very exciting for me. All right. So image border, that puts a border around it. We got caption background, style. Yeah, so we can't see anything right now for the text. Thank you. So let's make that white. There we go. There's our caption text. And a tricky thing too, like this threw me the first time I was using this theme editor, is that when you actually go in here and you select anything, it always is going to put an outline around, you know, the particular thing that you're doing. So like if I go out from my image here and I go and like, let's go to H1, right? So it puts this outline around it. And, you know, when I was first doing this, I'm like, why can't I change the color of the box around it, you know? But that's not what it is. It's not something that's actually going to be part of your theme. It is just highlighting exactly where, what's being edited at any particular point in time. Let's just go back to my inline photos and make some decisions around this. Hey, Hannah, how are you? Hannah also is a Adobe Education featured Behance live streamer. And I actually just saw that you had you did a stream about 14 hours ago. I got a notification about it. Of course, I got the notification like right before I went on here. So I missed your stream, but oh, text to vector in Illustrator. Yep, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be touching on that in my class. Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, when we get into Illustrator. But yeah. So for my text, I want something that's more colorful. So I'm gonna go back to this sort of deal. Yes. Not too saturated, but definitely to have it stand out from my body text. You can see the body text right under that. And it's like, you know, if that was the same, it would be problematic. You wouldn't be able to tell what was going on, right? And then again, so this is annoying about this editor. You know, I've had to go through and change a lot of text from Montserrat to, you know, either Jensen or Prenton. It'd be nice if I could just say, just do a sweep. Just say like, hey, you know, Express, I want to, for this theme, I want to switch all of the Montserrat to, you know, something that I'm going to use like Prenton right here. Let's do Well, just gonna go with this standard style here, this first one. Oh gosh, why? You make me scroll every time, guy. So that's another thing. If anybody from the Express team is watching this, I have many suggestions. And one of those is, you know, if I'm choosing a couple of typefaces, elevate them in this list. I've got a bunch of fonts in here, and it's a pain to scroll through them all every time just to get down to the P's. And I went by P's. There. Yes, I got regular chosen right now. Oh, are you, Hana? Yeah, I mean, that's good. Hana's in touch with the project manager for the web portion here. Yeah, I mean, I would love to chat with whoever that is, if they are looking for suggestions or anything like that. Yeah, because it's definitely, I know both of us, right, heavily use this particular feature. And I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but you know, I did mention that you know, I was afraid for a while that Adobe was just going to nix this feature with the new Express, that they weren't going to port it over and just kind of let it die. So it was great to see that they didn't do that, and also that they're improving it through things like this theme editor here. Okay. Inline. Now, here's the thing with photos, right? So I've got a bunch of other photo stuff here. I generally don't use any of these others. I mostly just use inline, but you do have things like Glideshow here. I did use Glideshow on the last Express page that I published, just because it was suggested by another AEL for this particular task. So let's see here. Let's have a look at Glideshow. See what's what. Oh, well, that's easy enough. Look at that. You can just choose whether it's transparent or not. That's great. Easy. Adobe's making it easy for me. Here again, like PhotoGrid, like, here's the thing, right? Like, if I ever needed to deal with a PhotoGrid, which I might at some point, if I wanted to add stuff to a PhotoGrid and change this, as we saw, I can always go back in and edit this to include the PhotoGrid functionality, which is one of the really nice things about this editor. Oh, that's... Actually, I kind of like that. Good enough. Good enough for now, right? Here's window. Again, Montserrat. Ugh, you're killing me, Adobe. Okay. Yeah, so I think we're just about getting to the point where we're going to be good with this, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so everybody check out Hana's replay of her text to vector inside of Illustrator. You can always just click on, if you're in the chat, just click on the person's little thumbnail and it will bring you to their profile. And that works for anybody, not just someone who streams, but for anyone, which is really nice. All right, full screen. Let's check that one out. Yeah, it's just the same thing over and over. It's just like, let me just say, like, I want to replace these colors with these colors. I want to replace these fonts with these fonts. And then you can go through and, tweak things to make everything work just as you like, right? That would be, that's my number one suggestion for editing themes here. All right, I'm gonna say this is good for my needs right now. I'm gonna hit save. And we'll go back out to our web page itself. And from here, ugh, let's go to themes. I want to rename this theme. Rename. I'm going to call this Labreck Dark. Save. What? A theme with this name already exists. Does it though? I don't see a theme with that name already existing here. Okay. Labreck Red. Save. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a Labreck Dark unless... I mean, that says Labreck Light. Let's kill the light one. Delete forever. Yes. Forever. Goodbye. There we go. So now I only have my single theme, Labreck Red. Let's see if I can rename it now, if it'll let me. Rename it to Dark. No. How about Labreck Dash Dark? There we go. I kind of wonder if maybe I had a brand that was called Labreck Dark before. What is that? Why do I have a... They're just popping up. Oh, look, view all my themes. Oh, look at that. I do have a Labreck Dark. And I've got all these stupid little custom themes that obviously I just like messed around with and didn't really use for anything. Oh, man. Let's check out this Labreck Dark. The original Labreck Dark. Oh, it's okay. It's okay too. Maybe I'll keep it around. Let's rename it. Oh, no, I didn't want to. No. Cancel. Leave. We want to rename this. Oh, no, not that one. Rename Labreck Old. And we'll think if we want to. You can keep these things around. All right. I have office hours coming up in about 20 minutes. So let's just flesh this out a little bit more. And like I'll add a photo to my cover here. This is one thing. So like one of the first things that I do with my students is I have them go out and do like a personal statement with Express Web, and they create like a little graphical composition they embed in there too. So it's like their first like tippy toes into the design world, right? So I use Express as sort of like an on-ramp into stuff like Photoshop and Illustrator and the rest. One thing that drives me nuts is when they leave the heading empty. They just leave it gray, and it's like, no, like don't just leave it like that. Red lights. If this brings up stoplights, oh thank goodness. Oh, this one's cute. Let's choose that. And then we'll do a little preview here. It has to save first. Once it does, there we go. Now I can click on the eyeball to preview and see kind of how it looks. So that's pretty good. One thing that bugs me right here is like, why is this still gray down here? Ugh. I don't know. But there we go. I now have a new theme that I can use along with Lebrec Old and along with Adobe Express themes down here. So yeah, I hope this was interesting for some of you. You know, I thought it'd be a good subject for this, for a stream, especially when I've been doing some things that are a bit more complicated in the past few weeks. I really like how that one turned out, though. Let me find it here so you can all see what I'm talking about.
So small.
Ain't that right, Joseph? So let's go to my Behance page. There we go. Oh, look, we're live. Yes. Yeah, so if we look down here, this is the one that's currently going. We did this one here. I love how this one came out. Warped object animation from Firefly. So we use a combination of Firefly and Adobe Animate, warped objects and Animate to do this. Turned out super cool. I enjoyed myself. I've been doing a lot with 3D, of course. Again, right? Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. But you can find all sorts of stuff in here. I do everything from Express to Substance 3D to Animate to whatever, right? This one was fun. Painting a skull in Substance 3D Painter. Yeah. Anyhow, you can check out those older streams if you wish. So let's see. How do you port this out into the real world? Well, for the theme, I mean, when you publish... Oh gosh, and I went... It's not there anymore, is it? Here we go. Let's see if we can summon it back up here. Yeah, so to get a... Yeah, I should have mentioned this, Myron. So, yeah. So if you hit the share button up here when you're creating a page, and let's name this February Fun. Share. So that's the page name. If I hit share, I'm able to publish to web right here. And, right, I can say like, I'm the author, me. There we go. You can include the header and footer or not. And once you hit create link, it's going to publish that out for you. And then you're going to have a URL that you can use to distribute. And then people can type in that URL or click on it. And here it is. Copy that URL. So you can all see what it looks like. Let's pop it into our little chat here. Right? Yes. And yeah, if I put this in right there, February Fun. Yeah. So it gets published. Very nice. And if I want to make changes to that, and I really should stop using the same tab for everything. Let's hit share once again. All right, so we've got some publish options here. This brings us back, so I thought I chose author. Yeah, so if I make any changes, I can make these changes here and republish. Also, if you make any changes to your content, of course, you can do that as sort of like a draft mode inside of Express Web. And then once you publish, then it will publish those changes. Yeah, it's still not including my info. Adobe. Adobe, I found a bug. Look, it just doesn't save at any time. I gotta keep doing it. Adobe, I found another bug, guys. Yeah. Anyhow, yes, that's the deal. So yeah, like I said, I gotta prep for some office hours pretty soon. And then I have my community of practice meeting at noontime, Mountain Time. So I've got a couple more things going on today before I get a little bit of time. So I am going to say goodbye to you all. Thank you for joining me today. Myron, Clever, Hannah, anybody else who was here but might not have said hello. Thank you. And yeah, I'll be back next week most likely with something else. So have a good one.